Hey YouTube, getting ready to go to the gym. Waiting for some stuff to kick in, so I thought I would go ahead and make a video on a really uniquely fitness-based thing, fear of bulking and fear of cutting. And it's a really weird sensation that you will experience if you ever try to do anything specific with your body, whether that be bulking or cutting, losing body fat, gaining muscle. Um, and if you take the average person, the average Joe on the street that isn't really interested in fitness, and they're everywhere, we know this, and you turn around and you're like, hey, are you ever like scared of losing weight? And they look at you and be like, why would I be scared of losing weight? And you're like, well, because you might look smaller. They'd look at you like you have three heads, and they'd be right to do so. Because for the average person, that would be an absolutely bloody ridiculous thing to be asked, right? But if you ask the average like gym rat, a lot of us are either scared to bulk because we don't want to get this gone, or we're scared to cut because we don't want to lose strength, or we're worried about losing that muscle that took us forever to put on. So it's a weird sensation, fear of bulking and fear of cutting, and it's everywhere, and it's super hard to overcome. And sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and go ahead and do it. If you've seen if you're a new subscriber or you watch my videos, back in May, I turned 32, and for my 32nd birthday, like 2 days later, I was stepping foot in Puerto Vallarta onto a beach for a vacation. And I wanted to be in the best shape of my life, or as close to as I could, which was when I was 26 years old, and I thought I wanted to compete in physique. So I cut from 240 pounds down to 212 pounds in like 5 months. Well, from January 1st to May 7th. And I was sub 10% body fat. If I couldn't have stepped on stage if I wanted to. I still wasn't that lean, but I was still maintaining a lot of my strength as I was cutting down. And I was like, I hit that, and I looked at myself and I was like, God, I love having abs. Like, you wake up and you have an 8-pack because you're dehydrated. It happens. And you're like, I love how I look. So I held that from May until about November. And I kind of sat and looked at my numbers because my main focus is strength, right? Like, aesthetics is secondary to me, but my main focus is strength. So I was like, okay, what have I really accomplished strength-wise in the last 5 months since my birthday? And I looked at my, because I have all of my numbers on a mirror in my bedroom, and I'm like, oh God, you haven't done enough. Like, I done a little, but not much, because I had held like 8% body fat, or around about there. I'm not a bodybuilder, I don't know. But around there, it was sub 10 for months while working 60, 70 hours a week at the hospital and just driving myself into the ground. And I hadn't really accomplished what I was looking to accomplish. So I was like, okay, well, I gotta bulk. And it was mentally just jarring for me to have to eat more, right? And that sounds so dumb because, I work in a hospital, I'm a nurse. And if there's one way I can tell you guys, if you ever want to get with a nurse or be with a nurse, feed them. We're phenomenal. Like, you got your nursing station, and you can like drop cupcakes and cookies off, and then you turn your back and you're like, oh, did I? And they're fucking gone, just disappeared. It's I don't know. It's like a lunar eclipse. You can't really look at it because it's just, anyways. So. If anybody here is a nurse that's watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Nurses we love our food. So, for me to want to eat more was really tough for me because I view my diet and my training as a way of controlling my life. So I went on a lean bulk. I'm about 10 weeks in to what's probably going to be 16 to 20 weeks of bulking. And it's like super tough for me to do because I miss having abdominals, or at least as lean as my abdominals were when I was there. But that's just a weird phenomenon that we deal with, right? Like, or when you're super strong. Like, when I was 240 pounds a year ago, December 31st, 2015, I was at my strongest. I was 240. This was just whatever. But I was pulling like 600 pounds every 2 days. I was squatting 500 pounds every 2 days. I was benching 425. And it was just like, I was eating so much that I just couldn't, it was phenomenal. I felt amazing with my strength, but I hated how I looked. And it's just this weird psychological game that we play with ourselves. And a couple things that you can do if you want to go ahead and bulk and cut, and dealing with the fear of bulking and cutting, is one is having a supportive partner, if you're that lucky, that can turn around and be like, you look great, or they can do things to reinforce you so you don't feel so shitty about losing weight or gaining body fat at the same time. At this point in my lifting, it's not even a career, but just lifestyle, I don't do dirty bulks anymore. I do lean bulks and I do lean cuts, simply because I'm not going to get that far doing either like of the other extremes. I kind of have to be really finite with my training and my diet. If you don't have a partner that can go ahead and reinforce you on that, certain things you can do is set goals, right? Like if you're scared of bulking, which is one of my things, I don't like bulking anymore. I don't like gaining the extra fat, and I don't see a lot of the strength return for my effort these days. So that's why I lean bulk, so just eating a little bit more. But set numbers. Be like, okay, I'm going to get fatter. It's going to happen, guys. Even if you lean bulk, you're going to gain a little bit of abdominal fat or a little fat on your tush or wherever you happen to get it. But set some kind of a goal that makes it worthwhile to you. So you're looking and you're like, okay, well, I know I'm going to gain a little bit of weight, and in this 20 weeks, I'm going to put on, whatever it is. I'm looking at gain about, honestly, 5 pounds, 10 pounds in 20 weeks. That's Horace. He's a Ginger Tom. He's in the video now. I'm going to gain like 5 or 10 pounds, but what am I going to gain from that other than like muscle mass or potential muscle mass or some body fat, right? Set yourself some goals so that you feel like you're doing something, damn it. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm getting heavier, but I'm going to hit this on the back squat. I'm going to add this to my bench press. I'm going to train harder. I'm going to do these things so that it makes it a little bit less of a sting, right? I mean, it's kind of like having to pull off a Band-Aid. If you can like psych yourself up and you're like, yep, just at once, go. It doesn't hurt as much. So when you're trying to bulk, set yourself some mental goals, right? Like, what am I going to do with this bulk? Why am I doing it? And am I just getting fat for the sake of getting fat? Or am I putting numbers on my total? Am I getting extra reps? What are you doing and why are you bulking? If you're a bodybuilder, it's obviously to gain size. If you're a powerlifter or a strength trainer, it's to put weight on the bar. And have constant reminders around your house. Mine are always on so that when I wake up in the morning, I get out of bed, and as I'm walking to the bathroom, they're staring right at me. I don't have a choice but to see them, right? And that's my daily reminder of that's why you're getting fat, Mark, is so that you hit those numbers. A gym acquaintance of mine who is going to nationals this year for powerlifting here in Canada. I know, Canada, boo. He just has 600 written on the wall, the mirror in his kitchen, just 600. That's what he wants to get to for his back squat, right? And it's that daily reminder of like, that's what you're working towards. That's what you're hammering through. So have like a daily reminder, just have it written somewhere. Make yourself accountable to the bulk so that when you are eating more and you are gaining a little bit of weight, you're like, that's why I'm doing it. When it comes to cutting, yeah, that one's hard because you feel like you're gonna get smaller. But same thing, like, remember why you're doing it. Remember what the purpose is. Like, why are you cutting, right? Are you cutting to step on stage? Are you cutting to simply look good on the beach, which is awesome, right? Like, let's do that. But like, give yourself some kind of reminder, like, why am I cutting? All right, well, I'm cutting to look good on the beach. All right, well, what's my goal? What do I want to look like? What does my strength want to be when I am cut? How much am I willing to lose? How am I going to push myself? Do something so that when you're like, okay, I'm cutting, I know I'm going to lose a little bit of strength because that's going to happen. I mean, you shouldn't be losing monumental amounts of strength. I mean, if you lose 10 pounds in like, I don't know, 4 months, you shouldn't be dumping 25% off the bar, right? You might lose 5 or 10 pounds off the bar. That's going to happen. I'm sorry. But just remind yourself why you're doing it, right? For me, when I was cutting for my birthday, I'm like, it's so that you look good on your 32nd birthday, right? So just psychological reminders because, yeah, the fear of bulking and cutting is so weird to normal people, but yet fit people understand it. It's like, I don't want to get smaller. I don't want to get fat. I just want to be jacked and lean forever. Anyways, guys, just simple like mental cues. Sorry this video is so long. I'm rambling before the gym, waiting for the caffeine to kick in. But that's it. Questions and comments down below. I mean, it really is just psychological cues, but give yourself reminders of why you're putting yourself and why you're suffering for all this. Because it can be suffering. Micromanaging your diet blows. And a lot of fit people are like, no, I fucking love it. And I'm like, no, you just say that you do. Let's be honest. We'd all love to eat pie, pizza, and cake and drink a 6-pack of beer a night and stay lean and jacked, but that ain't gonna happen. So there is a little bit to it, right? All right. Questions, comments down below. And as always, guys, eat like a bodybuilder and train like a powerlifter.